Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here and I'm back for some more of yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Mario Kart Super Circuit for the Game Boy Advance. So last time we have managed to go to the forms of the Flower Cup, and despite we come second place in Bowser Castle 2, because let me tell you, Bowser Castle 2, at least specifically on Super Circuit version, it is definitely a little bit tricky compared to the forms of how it does it in, well, the revisits during the forms of in Mario Kart DS, as well as recently Mario Kart Tour. So either way, today for this episode is the fact that, well, usually relatively speaking, we are actually going back onto the forms of the Extra Cups department, because this time around, we're about to be hit on to the Extra Flower Cup. And for today's racer for this point today, is none other than, let's go for Yoshi, because, well, usually relatively speaking, Yoshi is cool all in all, and plus because of how the fact that, well, eventually Piglet will able to get back onto Yoshi's Crafted World at some point on September this year. So either way, yeah, let's get into the forms of Extra Flower Cup for this point today, as I said before. So here we go on to Mario Circuit 2, which obviously brings back from the likes of, well, ever since in Super Mario Kart, and eventually you're able to get revisit in the forms of in Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart Tour. So you guys should probably already know this at this point in time. So even though there's not much else we can able to discuss upon something apart from the fact that, well, there's one last thing I totally forgot to mention to you guys about something, is the fact that my first experience on Mario Kart Super Circuit is the fact that, aside from obtaining the actual original cartridge for it, which I still have it even to this day, that I did manage to get it back in Christmas 2007 alongside with Super Mario Galaxy, and especially noticeable with certain other games like Mario Party DS, and especially noticeable with, I would say, the Jungle Book on the Disney DVD version, likely the Platinum Edition or something, or even the 40th edition, 40th Anniversary Edition since 2007, and especially noticeable with, of course, the Simpsons movie, and especially noticeable with Flushed Away DVD, just because I did technically have Flushed Away back in 2006, but I no longer have the actual different version of that, probably because I haven't really checked out the forms of the behind the scenes, or even in this case extra content, because the problem with, you know, with the forms of, I don't know what you actually called that specifically, oh yeah, the TC copy, that, the problem with those copies is the fact that that won't allow you to get actually access to the actual proper main menus to begin with, and second of all, it does feel pretty lacking in content-wise, so as a result, I think the normal DVDs, especially back in the day, is super recommendable for those of you who want to see some tons of content in here and there, whilst every now and then now is the fact that they don't seem to have that much content, unlike the Blu-ray versions of some of these Blu-ray films at this point nowadays. They seem to able to have a lot more content than the DVD versions have, which is, to me, is kind of bizarre, but either way though, I'm guessing it's probably because they just want to move on to the forms of the next new way of generation stuff, which I'm assuming that's what they were going for here. So aside from all that stuff though, that's as far as I can say about it. So anyway though, yeah, aside from that though, my first ever saw, or the first time I've actually saw Mario Kart Super Circuit in action is the fact that, not only how the fact that back in a long time ago, I used to have myself the Nintendo GameCube DVD kind of gameplay footages, collections or something like that, which is called a Cube DVD video. Oh man, I have so many nostalgia when it comes to having that, but I no longer have that just because the disc is all scratched up. And second of all is the fact that, well, usually relatively speaking, my PS2 seemed to able to have some little bit of problems to able to get out of my disc trays every now and then, which even then it tends to really bug me, but if I keep on like pressing it with my thumb sometimes, it actually able to stay it open. However though, here's the thing though, is the fact that I think that was back in 2005 if I recall, that my first ever time seeing Mario Kart Super Circuit on screen, and that was the fact that you remember from the forms of that terrible film called Son of the Mask? Oh god, that film is dreadful. But at least, on the other hand though, that wasn't until I discovered that Mario Kart Super Circuit was actually playing on that film. On the forms of, I would say that one of the actors is playing as Luigi, in the forms of in the first track in the game, which is of course Peach Circuit. And for whatever reason, when I looked it back, during the forms of that particular clip, ever since as a kid, I just realized about something, is the fact that he actually played the game really awkwardly on the Game Boy Advance, because not only does he not use his grips, but it's also the fact that he's able to use the fingers, or I don't know if it's the fingers or thumbs, to able to actually play the game properly, even though I haven't really touched upon it yet though. But either way, I'm pretty sure it's just 2 fingers, and that's pretty much about it when it comes to pressing buttons and stuff like that. Usually, every now and then though, I have no problems playing the game on the forms of in the Game Boy Advance SP itself, whilst compared to the actor on Son of the Mask, holy crap, he played terrible. He played really absolutely awful, just trying to able to actually not use his palms to able to actually get a glimpse with it on the Game Boy Advance SP. Oh, jeez. Anyway, and plus the actual film itself, it still looks pretty crap and terrible at the same time. That's the perfect example of why I'm probably not gonna grab the film, honestly, because that film sucks. Oh, man. And there's also some of those other Nintendo references on that film as well, which is of course, Nintendo GameCube controller was shown up. In addition to that, I'm presuming in the American version of Pikmin game on the GameCube, despite I no longer have my first Pikmin game and Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 3, and especially noticeable with Hey Pikmin every now and then, just because, well, the actual development cycle when it comes to hype for Pikmin 4 is getting pretty much like a desert or something, which either way though, it's like 2009 all over again, but either way I just want to able to touch upon certain things. So anyway, as you saw by the forms of the previous tracks ago, we already did race on to Choco Island 1 and Ghost Valley 2, and every now and then is the fact that we're going to be hit on to the final track in Extra Flower Cup, and that is of course Donut Plains 2, where, as you can see on screen, there aren't any multi-malls around here, which, again, why intelligent systems, why did you able to remove certain hazards or anything like that? There's probably just a little bit of a nitpicking at this point, but either way though, it's the fact that unlike in the original Super Mario Kart, is the fact that you would expect you can able to avoid a lot of hazards in here. Oh yeah, by the way, different from the likes of Mario Kart 64, compared to the forms of Super Circuit this time around, specifically on those voice clips department, because do you remember in the English version of Mario Kart 64 that they sound a little bit more differently compared to the forms of the Japanese version of Mario Kart 64? Most of the voice clips in this game is heavily borrowed from Mario Kart 64 Japanese version this time around, because you notice how the fact that certain voice clips for Peach, Toad, Luigi, and Wario, they sound a little bit more different. Which, that could be also the same applies to Yoshi for this point, even though that in Mario Kart 64, he only just goes like, or anything else for that voice, but instead, that he actually got himself his common voice, or in this case, the most recent voice throughout in the future, especially ever since back in 1999, since Super Smash Bros. Came out on the Nintendo 64, and he actually got that voice from that. So even then though, yeah, I guess just want to point that out. So either way though, huzzah, we got an A rank. So yeah, I guess we'll end things off here. So join me next time, let's play Mario Kart Super Circuit. It's the fact that we're going to be hit on to the next Super Circuit Cups, and that will appears to be by the forms of the Lightning Cup, and same applies to Extra Lightning Cup enjoy next weekend. So even then though, it's going to be a double of the same stuff. So see you guys next weekend. Later fellas.